wake up, wake up. It's the Flow Show, no filter. On a Monday, we got a lot to talk about. Welcome everybody coming through the door. I see Kobe wants Shinobi. As you come in, please like the live. If you can hear me, please put ones in the comments. I need everybody's engagement today. Put ones in the comments if you can hear me. Ones in the comments if you can hear me. Also, let me know that you like the live. After you like the live, announce it in the chat. Announce it in the chat. And I need everybody to put ones in the comments, not just a few people, because I need to know everybody can hear me before I proceed. Also, once you like the live, announce it in the chat. Flo, I like the live, so I can keep an accurate count on who is liking the live and who is slacking. Like I said, everybody put a one in the chat if you can hear me, and let me know you like the live. Everybody needs to like this live. This is a serious one today, and I'm not playing. I need to get this out to as many people that can hear it as possible. Thank you. And everybody in the chat, make sure y'all continue as I'm doing the show to continue to let people know to like the live and let us know that they like the live as you're coming through the door. We got a lot to talk about. Shedeur, Sanders, Diddy, and race relations today. So today, don't come in here being extra sensitive. I'm letting you know now, we're going to talk about serious subject, and this is something that is important, and we need to deal with this straight, head on, not playing around. So before I do all that, I'm about to cover my ass. Please put ones in the comments if you can hear me. Thank you. The thoughts, views, and opinions shared on the Flow Show No Filter are for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a professional. I am just good. Happy Monday to everybody out there today. A lot went on over the weekend that we got to talk about. I'm sure everybody either watched the draft, or if you didn't watch the draft, you watched and were a part of a lot of the drama that went on surrounding the draft with Shedeur Sanders and Deion Sanders. You know, we're going to talk about that. Also, got some updates in the Diddy trial that happened on Friday and over the weekend that we got to get into. So we're going to get into that today. Today is one of those Mondays where I couldn't wait to get in here. Monday couldn't come fast enough because we definitely need to talk, and we definitely have some serious issues that we need to tackle today. Hope everybody weekend was well. Like I said, hit a one if you can hear me. But one thing you know, when you get the Flow Show No Filter, you're going to get it straight. You're going to get it straight. You're going to get it fair. And today, just so happened, one of the major topics is dealing with Shedeur Sanders and his father, Deion Sanders. And this particular subject is one that's near and dear to my heart, if you know, because it deals with being a confident man, especially a confident Black man in this world, and raising a young, confident Black man, because that is what I am and that is what I am doing. I myself, as you know, have a son who I am raising to be a confident young man and who has two loving parents. And his validation he's looking for validation out of his two loving parents, not the world. And a lot of people that rubs people the wrong way. And I tell you all the time that about me. I have no problem with anyone, but I don't seek validation in the world. My validation comes from my parents. I was raised up with love, a lot of it. So I look to them to see what they feel about what I'm doing or not doing. I could give a rat's ass what the world has to say, but I love the world. I love everybody in the world. I listen to what they have to say. But as far as criticisms and or trying to bring me down, it rolls off of me like a bead of sweat. Why? Because my validation comes from my parents. That's who I care about, what they think. And that is what we're one of the things and one of the issues that people are having problems with Shedeur Sanders. See, Shedeur Sanders, let's give you the quick context on the story before I go into it. Everybody should know Shedeur Sanders is a quarterback, was a quarterback for Colorado, now the Cleveland Browns, my Browns, as a matter of fact. So everybody shout me out and give me some love, because y'all know I wanted Shedeur Sanders. And I was going to be pissed if we didn't get him. And I told y'all that on the other show. But Shedeur Sanders, it was a lot of controversy over this past week and weekend because he was supposed to be picked in the top 5 picks. All kind of experts had him there. But then as we watched the draft, one round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, 4 rounds, 5 rounds, he didn't go where he was supposed to. Thank you, Libby Bear. And thank you for the super chat and the tip. And I'm going to tell everybody in the chat, follow Libby Bear. She's doing the right thing. I appreciate that. I do video as a service to my people in my community, but I definitely would appreciate it if more people would be willing to super chat and give me a tip, like Libby Bear did. So I appreciate that. It's $1, $2, $3, $5, whatever. But definitely a tip will help motivate me to come here, because I could be in my audio world. Y'all know that. I do this as because I love my community, but I don't have to get on video. My podcast is an audio podcast. So thank you, Libby Bear. I appreciate that. And if anybody else feels in their heart that I deserve a tip, please leave it. It could be $2, $3. It don't matter. It's not a lot. It's just a thought that counts. But anyway, and so, but it was real nasty, y'all. It was real nasty. And you know, one thing about this country, thank you, Not Dream, I appreciate it. Like I said, $2 is plenty. I really appreciate it. I'm not asking for nobody to break the bank. Just a tip that you would tip your waiter for giving you food, because I'm giving y'all some food for thought today. And it's all with love, because what I found out is, you know, one thing about this country, when it comes to race, it gets nasty. And a lot of innocent bystanders are affected and hit because of it. A lot of people, and what I mean by innocent bystanders, let me get this out here. 90% of the world, we're all fine. It's just the 10% that get ugly, mean, and nasty in this type of environment that we're dealing with the Shedeur Sanders and NFL. And then a lot of time, Black people and white people and brown people are attacked for no reason. You know, and it's sad, but one thing about our community, we come together. This is not a racist bone in this community's body. We talk about topics that mean something, and we do it with all love. And that's the thing that I appreciate about this community, and many of you all appreciate about this community, because we can talk about topics. And I don't feel anybody that listens to this podcast, anybody in the chat, I don't see a racist bone anywhere, so we can have a talk. And so what I learned is, and see, when situations like this are going on, when people are saying nasty things about this and that and all of that, see, I'm the type of person, I've used these opportunities to learn. And so I sit back and I learned a lot. And what I learned is the basis or the foundation for this racism that may go on and nastiness, a lot of times it's just a lack of understanding. See, a lot of times people may say or dismiss what they don't think is racism, and it's not because they're racist, it's because they actually just don't understand. And the problem lies in some of those people don't seek the knowledge or actively go out to understand. They just live in their egocentric world and make judgments that are wrong because they haven't took the initiative. So before I get into it, I'm gonna give everybody some context so they can understand, because the race, we're gonna deal with that, but I'm gonna put it in a context where everybody can understand. I'm gonna paint a broad brush right here. I'm gonna let everybody understand. And so we have demographics who have been oppressed over time. We have Blacks, we have Latinos, we have women, we have domestic women, victims of domestic violence for many years were not taken seriously or totally understood. We have trans communities, gay communities, a lot of different communities who experience mistreatment. And when those communities become outraged or they have issues, you have certain people who don't come from those communities that immediately say, well, that can't be the case because this, and this. But you don't come from there. You're not an expert at what they deal with. So instead of dismissing it, ask someone who's been through that. Do some research. YouTube it. Don't just dismiss it because you don't understand it. See, that's a lazy way to handle an issue. That's an easy way to handle an issue, is to just dismiss it. So let me give you a couple examples before I even get into the race. And y'all know I've had been a victim of inappropriate touching as a 7-year-old. I told the story. And one thing a lot of people say is when you're dealing with SA and different molesting and different things that happen, a lot of people say, well, a person may come out 20 years later and say it. And then you have a group of people that will say, why did it take them so long to say it? That couldn't have happened. They got to be lying, because if it happened to me, I would have told immediately. Well, it didn't happen to you. And so you don't know why someone would say something 20 years later. But if you ask someone who's been through that, like me, I will tell you that it happened to me at 7 years old. I didn't mention it till I was 21 or 22. And if you ask anybody else that's been through it, they'll tell you the same thing. We go to the Cassie situation. You'll have people that say, you know, all the horrible stuff that Diddy put Cassie through. You'll have people that say, well, why didn't she just leave? She's a part of it, because I would have just left. Well, that's you. But you don't understand, there are many people who have different issues and different reasons why they couldn't just leave. And if you don't understand it, go ask somebody. I see plenty of women in my comments, or plenty that have been through that, have been right where Cassie is, have been in the DV situations and didn't leave immediately. It took time. But again, we have people who haven't dealt with that or have a different makeup. And because they wouldn't have handled that situation like that, they downplay a Cassie, or they say a Cassie's feeling is invalid. You see where I'm going with this? Now, let's go to the racism and what's at hand right now. You have people that say, when people were saying it's racism, and the NFL has racism, and the NFL does some racist things because a Black quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, who was supposed to go top 5, ended up going at pick 144. Now I'm gonna tie this to everything I just said previously, and they'll say, and I'm bringing up everything that I've seen said in masses. They'll say the NFL can't be racist. The first pick was a black quarterback. How could it be racist? That's not racist. Now, I'm going to educate you. That sounds like someone who does not understand the culture and doesn't even understand the issue at all. That sounds like the same person that would say, I'm not racist. I have a black friend. Having a black friend does not say you're not racist. So let me bring it all together now. I had to set the table because we at the kitchen table today. I had to set the table so everybody can understand this isn't just a racism issue. This is an issue that a lot of us do not take the time to understand the community that is outraged. And today we're talking about the black community, but we could have the same conversation for the women community, the minority community, the black, brown community, anybody. So let me break that down. And so those who want to understand where the racism comes in at and where the outrage is coming from and why, just take a listen and I'm going to explain it to you. Nothing to me, if you don't understand the problem, I don't even get bent out of shape by a person who might say something that may rub me the wrong way because I realize they just don't understand. And if you could give them some understanding, they might say, oh, so let me break it down for y'all. The reason why there's outrage and the reason why they say that it was racism, it's not just because you can't throw it away just because you say, oh, the first quarterback pick was black. No, let me tell you why. Yes, the first quarterback of the draft pick was black, but he also had parents who come from limited means. I mean, I'm not going to say they're poor, but they're not Deion Sanders. And they are just happy to be there. And the NFL loves when you're just happy to be there. But when you are a black talent that comes from an affluent family with a father and a mother who has their own plan and intentions for you and are vocal about it, as a lot of us are about our children, that's where the NFL has a problem. And that is where the racism comes in. So the community outrage black people. It doesn't matter if you pick 100 black people. What we're saying is the NFL has an issue when the black talent comes from an affluent family who has a father who is front and center and wants to protect and make sure and be right there and have a say so in what his son does. That is the racism. So point number one, if somebody tells you, well, a black person is picked, how can it be racist? 80% of the NFL is black. How can it be racist? That is why. As long as you are a black guy, let me give you an example. And this is all information, guys. I don't want anybody to get offended. This is for the people who just want to understand the outrage and not judge everybody and attack, because I'm going to go farther with this. But the NFL, I'll give you an example. Travis Hunter. He went number 2. A great, upstanding young man, Travis Hunter, cornerback playing both sides of the football. Well, when he was about to be chosen on the NFL draft, the NFL made sure that they announced that Travis Hunter's father was able to seek permission from his probation officer to come see his son drafted. Why the fuck do we need to know that? I didn't give a damn that I didn't know or give a damn that his father sought permission from probation to see his son. But this is the NFL, the narrative that the NFL is comfortable with. Now I'm gonna take it to Shedeur Sanders and his father. If Shedeur Sanders came from a broken home with a single Black mother who barely made ends meet and was coming to the NFL and was just happy to be there and just get us out of the hood, he would have went top 5, no doubt. And I'm gonna give you an example. How many times have you saw a Black man drafted by the NFL and they can't wait to do the piece on how this guy came from a broken home and his brother was a victim of gang violence 2 years ago, and he dealt with this and he did with that, and then do a whole segment on it. I'm sure y'all have seen those segments. Because they run them all the time. They love that narrative. But let me tell you the narrative of this Deion Sanders. And thank you. I'm glad when people, and like I said, I love somebody say, wow, I didn't know that about Travis. But this is what's it's informative. Like I said, I really believe 90% of us of the world is not racist and actually beautiful people. I believe there's a small pocket that does that. And I also believe there's a small pocket of people who just don't come from my world, so they don't understand it and see it from where we're coming from. And that is what this show or this segment is designed to do. Just give you information that you may not have paid attention to. So now I'm going to go to Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders. Let me tell you the factual information that many of you didn't hear, and then I'll go into the nastiness and what went on. Let me give you facts. Deion Sanders coached his 2 sons, Shedeur and Shiloh, who are in the NFL now. Shedeur was drafted, and his brother was was undrafted, but picked up by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But Deion Sanders, Hall of Famer himself, coached his 2 boys and many other players, white and Black and brown, since the time they were in kindergarten. From kindergarten, he coached them all the way to college. And in college, at Colorado, not only did he have his 2 sons, but he had many white players and brown players who had been with Deion since elementary. And they went on and followed, and Deion took them to every team all the way up until college days in Colorado. Many of those trips, and all the parents out there that have athletes and children athletes, you know how these trips are expensive and these kids go everywhere, but we enjoy it and we want to see our children have fun and play the sport they love. Many of those kids, white and Black, Deion paid for. So imagine the real love and the real passion you have to coach kids from the time they are 5, 6, and 7 years old, all the way up to 18, 19, 20 years old and 21. And they love them. But you're not going to hear about that narrative. And then now he finally has his sons, both sons, that journey that he went on led to them being drafted and picked up in the NFL. Isn't that a hell of a story? Isn't that so motivating for all of the parents out there who are grinding and got their kids back from the time they're little tykes all the way up into college? But you ain't hear much of that on the draft. And I'm sure there are people right now saying to themselves, wow, I didn't know that. You know, that's some hellified information to not talk about. And I could go on and on about the jerseys and the equipment Deion paid for and just the whole journey. But I'm not going to go all the way into that. And now I'm going to go, now that you, and then mind you, Shedeur Sanders has a perfectly clean record. Shedeur Sanders is an honor roll student. Shedeur Sanders and Shiloh Sanders are heavily God-fearing young man with a father, Deion Sanders, who has never said a swear word in his life. And that's including his NFL career where he was mic'd up. That's including now having to hear all these people talk shit about his son. And he's never said a swear word, and he's heavy into the church. But you're not getting none of that on draft day because they'd rather talk about Travis Hunter's father, who seeks permission from probation officer so he can see his son. And so we move on. So now you've taken this journey, and what I like for everybody to do is put yourself in these shoes. You have took your sons on this journey since kindergarten, actually coaching them. Let me tell you something to all the parents out there that have kids that play these sports. You know that just being the parent to get them everywhere they need to go is a fucking headache, and it's hard, but we do it for our children. Imagine being the actual coach from the time they're kindergarten up to college. Imagine the sacrifices that went in. And so after you do all that, you have to hear the world calling your child an arrogant douchebag. Your child, who has a perfectly clean record, has never been in trouble, and is an honor roll student and a student athlete and has made it to achieve his goal, which you're not rolling out of the bed and getting drafted into the NFL. A lot of work went in. And then as a parent, you got to sit back and see people who are 30, 40, 50, 60 years old ridiculing your son, calling him an arrogant douchebag, and whatever else they can find out. How would you feel? Because I'm being honest, Deion Sanders handled it a hell of a lot better than me. If that was me and anybody attempts to call my son an arrogant douchebag, I won't smoke. I'm not there yet where Deion is. I will hope to get there one day, but you guys know how I would handle it. And so they painted narratives about this young man, Shedeur Sanders. They said he didn't handle his NFL interviews good. That's because he didn't come into the NFL interview with his hat in his hand and shaking and just happy to be there. He came in there into every interview as a Black man who was already fulfilled in life and has a passion for football. And if you want to pick me up and allow me us to take this journey together, I appreciate it. But I'm not coming in here acting like you are my savior, because my savior is God and my other saviors are my parents. And so all of these narratives were painted. Listen, I'm making another point. They said he didn't do well in his interviews, and he was arrogant, and he had an entourage, which every football player has said. Every football player has an entourage. But anyway, but all of this stuff is nothing that we can see. It's all speculation. Matter of fact, most of the people that said it were anonymous. So we don't even know. So let's just put that in its proper perspective. All of that is stuff that we can't see. Now let's talk about what we can see and what we did see in real time. We saw a Shedeur Sanders who was supposed to be and predicted to be a top 5 pick. We saw him go round 1, 30-something teams passed them up. Round 2, 30-something teams passed them up again. Round 3, 30-something teams passed them up again. Throughout all of that time, did you see how Shedeur Sanders handled it? He stayed positive. He said, God doesn't make mistakes. He said, I look forward to being drafted whenever I'm drafted. And by round 3, again, round 3 and 4, 30 teams passed him again, a top 5 prospect, and he tweeted something. You know what he tweeted? Thank God for everything. This is in the middle of being embarrassed and being humiliated as far as in front of the whole entire world, while people who are double and triple his age are dancing on his grave. Now I'm going to ask you something. Is that how an arrogant douchebag handles himself? Because that's what we can see in real time. I'm not talking about some speculation or some shit they saying that we don't know. We weren't there. We just had to go off people's words. Well, let's watch in real time. He didn't utter a negative word while he's being ridiculed in front of the entire world. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, do not let them paint narratives. When you're seeing how somebody is acting in real time, we all know arrogant douchebags. We all know who they are. And we know that arrogant douchebags are not going to sit around while the whole world dances on their grave and not utter a negative word, period. So while they want to paint narratives about what happened behind the scenes or stuff that we can't put our finger or eyes on, I ask you all to give the same grace to this young man as you would want, because what we can see in real time does not add up to an arrogant douchebag. Another point, in the middle of him being humiliated, in the middle of him being embarrassed, if you don't even think it was humiliating, at the very least, you can say it was embarrassing. And so in the middle of him being embarrassed and in front of the whole world and not being chosen, then he gets a prank call from another NFL team's son, non-black, a prank call acting like they are choosing him, but it was all a prank. Have you ever seen this type of behavior? Be honest. But again, Shedeur Sanders was asked about the prank call, which was embarrassing. I'm sure that ripped his heart out. I would have been hurt. But guess what Shedeur Sanders said? Shedeur Sanders said, well, I believe it was a childish act, but I also believe we all do childish things here and there. See, in the middle of the storm, Shedeur Sanders is giving someone grace who doesn't look like him, still giving him grace, when many of us would feel like he didn't deserve any grace. And so I ask you again, does that sound like an arrogant douchebag? And I'm only asking you because I want you to judge for yourself off stuff you can see yourself, not judge off of what somebody's saying happened in some behind the scenes shit that we have no idea what really went on. We can't judge it for ourselves. But these particular instances happen right in front of our face. But as like I tell you in the world and how the world goes, and I'm a testimony to this. Evilness always backfires. Evilness always backfires. And what I mean by that is this player, Shedeur Sanders, who is supposed to be an arrogant douchebag, who isn't this, who isn't that, he isn't a good quarterback, all the things they said didn't do anything but make him the biggest star larger than life of this draft. And I feel sorry for the other young men who worked their butt off to be drafted. I'm talking about black players, white players, brown players, Chinese, whoever. I feel sorry for them because the evilness that surrounded this situation actually took away from their moment, because this became the Shedeur Sanders draft. So whatever you say he isn't, oh, he's undoubtedly the biggest star and the biggest story and the biggest person in this draft. See, Kendrick Lamar once said, you can try to rig the game, but you can't fake influence. This is what he was talking about. So because they felt like Deion was too cocky or his son was too cocky, they felt like they were going to teach him a lesson. In other words, they tried to rig the game. They took a top 5 player and he was only chosen at 144th in like the 5th round. They tried to rig the game, but you can't fake influence. So at the end of the day, you tried to teach Deion and his son a lesson, and in that process, you made him bigger than life. You made a bunch of community, and I'm not talking about just black people. It's black, white, brown. Everything has rallied behind this young man, to the point that when he finally plays his first NFL game, the first pass he completes will break the internet. But NFL, you tried to rig the game, but you can't fake influence. See, Shedeur Sanders, what do I always tell you? I love when trolls come into my comments. I love when trolls come into my chat, because it's an opportunity to show the world how much poise I have, how much confidence I have, that I don't get outside of myself because some troll comes in the comments. You've heard me say that many times, and this is why my movement is the fastest growing movement online. Well, the same thing happened to Shedeur. All the nastiness that surrounded him only gave him an opportunity to show the world that I'm a God-fearing young man. I'm an understanding young man. I'm a young man who will even show compassion for someone who doesn't even look like me, who chose to prank me as one of the cruelest ways you could prank someone, and he still showed him grace. And that didn't do anything but make more and more people rally around Shedeur Sanders. And I ain't just talking about black people. I'm talking about good people, all people, because we all have children. And we all will stand up for our children. It don't have anything to do with race. You want to know? You want to know an example? You remember Bronny James? I think y'all heard of that name. Well, Bronny James went through a similar situation. He almost died and still continued his journey and ended up in the NBA because of a father and because of the situation he came from. But why am I bringing that up? Because the ridicule and the criticism of Bronny James crossed the line. And LeBron had to check somebody. And it wasn't no white guy or no white girl. LeBron went straight to Stephen A. Smith, another black man, and straightened his ass out. So again, it don't have anything to do with race, and anybody out there who are loving parents would agree. I don't care if you purple or green. You attack mine and you're out of bounds. I'm coming to check your ass. Now, throughout all of that Shedeur Sanders situation, and Deion didn't come out and say anything out of bounds. But the media or the NFL or the detractors will they want to paint a picture that's just not true. We're seeing it with our own eyes. See, this is the whole basis for this podcast, because my whole life, the media has painted pictures from shit we couldn't even see. But you expect me not to believe my own eyes and ears and go with your narrative? Well, here at the Flow Show, No Filter, we don't do that. We judge a situation off of what we see and know and how we feel, not how the media tells us what went on some area behind the scenes that we're not privy to at all. And so again, like I said, I believe 90% of the world is cool, all races, bunch of beautiful people. But it's that 10% who use this opportunity to say and put out in the universe the nasty thoughts that are in their head regardless. And now they just have a time and a time and a place to say it. And then what happens is that filters down to everybody. Next thing you know, we're being nasty to each other, and we don't even have a problem with each other. It started from the NFL using certain tools and painting certain narratives for their own benefit, because chaos and negativity sells. Chaos and negativity sells. And so corporations will do anything for $1. They don't care if that means that we are going to be fussing and fighting and hating on each other and bickering and being just flat out nasty to one another because of some game that the NFL is playing. And so what happens is NFL plays this dangerous game of towing the line, and then they go overboard, and then they have to overcompensate. And I'll give you an example. Why do you think we have this Super Bowl show that a lot of you are like, why is all this rap? And people want other type of, because the NFL is overcompensating from this type of stuff that they did years ago. The NFL was so dismissive to the black man's plight in this world that it got to the point where players were ready to fucking protest and leave and boycott the league, which is made up of 80% of people that look like me. And so this was years ago. And so what happened was the NFL, in a panic, they had to say, well, we need to do something about race relations. You can look up the article. So what they did was they got Jay-Z and brought him in to do the halftime show, to, for lack of better words, add more blackness to the Super Bowl and NFL. And that is the result of this halftime shows that we have, that a lot, and some of you are like, wow, why is it all this rap? Or are people not into Kendrick Lamar? And people complained about it. But that came from this same type of thing. And the NFL was about to run into that problem again. And so by round 4, when Shedeur hadn't been picked, Patrick Mahomes, who has been a leader in being fair and standing up for what he believes in for his community and all communities, Patrick Mahomes finally tweeted out, "This is crazy." Stephen A. Smith said, "This is crazy." But not just black people. Trump, which is why I say you never can just pin nobody as one way or the other. Because Trump, for what everybody wants to say about Trump, he was the first big name person to come out and say Shedeur Sanders not being picked is crazy and stupid. And what are the NFL owners doing? Mel Kiper, people from all walks of life were coming out, and it was about to be a shitstorm. And so the Cleveland Browns, who had just selected a quarterback in the 3rd round or 4th round, I can't remember, that next morning, mysteriously, and it didn't even make no sense, but guess what they did? they picked Shedeur Sanders because I believe that call went out to say, hey, this teaching Dion and Shedeur lesson thing is about to blow up in our face. So go ahead and pick him now. Because nobody can explain why my Browns picked a quarterback in the 3rd or 4th round that nobody was going to pick anytime soon. And then the next day, now you trade up to pick Shedeur Sanders? Nah, the call went out that this is about to go the wrong way, and let's abort mission now. Because the NFL has been there before. When you go too far, you're going to have hell to pay. And that's how he was chosen. And so just to give you an idea, there was a particular a listener of this show who was a victim of an innocent bystander of this whole shitstorm that the NFL caused that has us people arguing with each other when we actually don't have a problem with each other. We actually love all the kids. Nobody wants to be outraged. Nobody turned on the NFL draft and said, hey, let's see, I can't wait to be outraged. We are all looking to see who our team got, to applaud all the players chosen. I don't care what color you are. I have an appreciation for the hard work that it takes to not only be a student athlete, but to get to the NFL draft. But then the NFL came playing their little games and they almost shot themselves in the foot. But to show you how this affects us and why I come to my platform and I give information, because like I said, some people just don't understand because they don't come from a certain culture. Just like I'm not a woman, I don't understand a woman. I can't totally understand a woman that will stay in a domestic violence situation, but I'm not going to say, well, if somebody hits me, I'm just going to leave. So I don't know what's wrong with her. No, I'm going to ask a woman or ask women who have been in that situation, or I'm going to do some research. And after talking to people, now I do understand how a woman can stay in a domestic violence situation for a while, and it takes her a while to build up the strength to leave. You can't just dismiss it because you don't come from it. That don't have nothing to do with black, white. That has to do with just being a human. See, this is why my community grows and why I am kicking the ass of every media and podcaster out there without needing a guest. Because I understand that situations or issues that aren't from my world, that don't mean they don't exist. That just means you need to ask a motherfucker that went through it. And that's what I do. If I don't understand it, I'm going to talk to somebody who has went through it so that I can understand. A lot of people don't do that. They just judge it based on their own experiences and what they believe, and then they shut it down and dismiss it. And if we're going to do that, what is the whole fucking point? Anybody could dismiss a problem and say it doesn't exist. What is the point of that? What is the value in that? And so I want to read this and just give you an idea of innocent people who are attacked. And it'll also show you why we appreciate this community that we built, where we can talk honest and not fear being judged like we're some type of criminal or like I'm some type of bad guy because I'm just giving you information with love. I don't have a bad, hateful bone in my body. I love everybody. I enjoy different perspectives, different cultures, different outlooks. I know what my outlook is. That's boring to me. I like to know what everybody else is thinking and going through. So this particular person sent me a message. She says, hey, Flo, I just wanted to reach out about the situation with the Sanders post. I had commented on your Facebook post with some additional information, genuinely hoping to hear your thoughts. Unfortunately, things escalated quickly and people started getting really nasty. I normally don't delete comments like you always say. I stand on my business, but it crossed a line and became too toxic. Our Flow Show family has always been a space for open, respectful conversation. I love that she says that because that is exactly what the Flow Show family is about. Let me continue. She says, and I truly appreciate that. This time, though, it just got out of hand. I want to apologize if deleting my comment ends up affecting your interactions in any way. That was never my intention. I just really value the time and energy I have each day, and I won't let negativity from people who don't even know me bring me down or sit back and watch them bring others down. Thanks for understanding and much love to you always. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when there's no understanding and people don't seek to understand before they attack. Innocent bystanders are often attacked and wounded. But see, the thing is, we have our community, but Facebook and Instagram and TikTok is a whole nother world. And you see the nasty comments. That particular person right there is a beautiful woman, beautiful spirit. I don't know what she said because y'all know I get thousands and thousands of comments. I don't see them all. I try to respond to the ones that I see, but so I never even got a chance to see what her comment was or whatever. But I believe that by her being, because she's a white female, she may have asked some questions that someone who doesn't know her would just assume this is some white woman talking against whatever. Don't know that this is a person who is not racist at all and is an avid listener and was asking me, who she has a relationship through this podcast with, something that she had understanding with. But people don't care about that. They just attack. And so again, I'm grateful for this community that we built because we can have these type of conversations. And I wish I can control the community outside of this community, but I can't. And so we all know Facebook can be a nasty world. Instagram and TikTok can be nasty at times. But here we have each other. You can ask me anything. I'm not going to get offended. I'm going to appreciate the fact that you asked me. And this is how we come together and start to understand each other is, first of all, we have to be comfortable with uncomfortable questions. And understand that every question that may not be a question you want to hear does not mean that there is nastiness or vitriol or any malicious intent behind it. Sometimes people just want to know an answer to a question that they can't ask their family or their particular close friends because they don't come from that world. It's sad, but true. They even talked about Shedeur Sanders. They tried to say, well, he's rapping and he's not focused. Well, let me tell you a list of people who rapped, and I'll save the best for last of athletes. Do you know a guy by the name of Kobe Bryant, the beloved Kobe Bryant? Oh, he was rapping. He had an album out before he won any championship. We all love Kobe, don't we? Allen Iverson was rapping. He never won a championship, but he was an athlete that rapped, and we all love AI. Allen Iverson was the original AI before this new AI came out. Shaquille O'Neal, anybody ever heard of him? He actually went platinum and was rapping and went on to win championships. Kevin Durant also rapped. And I'm going to say the best one for last. You know who else was an athlete that rapped and made songs? Deion Sanders, Shedeur Sanders' father. So now we're going to criticize the kid for something that many athletes have done, including his own damn father. So now we're going to criticize him for being like his dad. We're going to criticize him for being like his dad. So again, people from opposite sides of the spectrum have spoke out. Many people are behind Shedeur, and that's why I say, to put this all in context, there are thousands and thousands of beautiful people who supported him that look in all color, all creed. We're just speaking on that small pocket that is putting out information and narratives that are unfair, and I want to correct that for those who care. If you're not looking to understand, this isn't for you. Go into your echo chamber. And for those that don't know what an echo chamber is, it is a place or a community or whatever you surround yourself where only your views are echoed and you don't know shit about anything outside of that. And one thing about an echo chamber, there's no growth. No growth happens because you're just around people who echo in the same thing you know and you believe, and that's all, that's it. So I just want to be the person to give people who really do just want to understand. That's who I'm talking to. I don't give a damn about the closed-minded people that just have their own opinion and base everything for where they come from. I'm not talking to them. I don't even waste my time with them. I'm doing this for the people who genuinely either may not understand the situation and why, and may look at it and say, well, I don't see how that could be racist. Well, I just broke it down to you for that reason, because like I said, a lot of people may not, if you don't come from it, it's understandable that you don't understand. How could you? But if you want to know what a black man, a confident black man in the public eye who is raising a young black man goes through, ask me, because that is exactly who I am and what I am. So to end this particular segment on a positive note, I want to shout out and show an appreciation to all the players who were drafted. I want to show an appreciation to all the parents of those players who were drafted, because your son being drafted is not only a testament to his hard work, his discipline, it is also a testament to the parents, to you guys, for your hard work and your discipline. And I want to apologize to the on behalf of the NFL and on behalf of all the nasty motherfuckers who took that spotlight away in order to condemn a 23-year-old kid named Shedeur Sanders that ain't doing nothing but working hard and living his dream and doing the things that a lot of 22 and 23-year-olds do. But of those things that he's done that a lot of 22-year-olds and 23-year-olds do, let me tell you some things he hasn't done. He's not drinking. He's not smoking. He's not getting in trouble. He's not in jail. He's not hitting women. He's not essaying. He's not doing any of that. He's just playing football, rapping, and wearing some jewelry. Just like his dad, primetime Deion Sanders, the greatest cornerback to have ever lived. And you can't put a speck of dirt on his name. And he's been in the public eye for, 30 plus years. So, without further ado, let's get to Diddy. Shout out to everybody in the NFL, and I hope everybody left that segment with a little more understanding about what we go through on both sides. I shared you what a black man, a black child went through, but I also shared with you what a white woman who just was asking for clarity, how she's attacked. I want everybody to understand and appreciate and respect everybody. That is the goal. It's a goal that I may never achieve fully, but damn it, I will die trying. Now to the diddler. The diddler, we were getting close time to the trial, and things are heating up. And just to catch you up, to get you up to speed, they are admitting the Cassie tape. Remember, there was some controversy or motions to not have that admissible to court. The tape that shows him putting hands, feet, and paws all over Cassie will be admitted. Another update. Diddy turned down a plea deal and now faces life in prison. Now, the term of that plea deal, we are supposed to know this Thursday. The judge said he will make that public to the court or whatever his words. I forgot the exact words he used. But the bottom line is we are supposed to know this Thursday, what that exact plea deal that Diddy turned down. And many people in the know said Diddy was stupid for turning it down. I don't know the plea deal, so I can't comment on it. And as you know, sometimes they tell us a day that something is going to be revealed, and then it don't fucking get revealed. So I'll be keeping an eye on it. But for those keeping up, Thursday, mark that in your calendar. We are supposed to learn whatever that plea deal that Diddy turned down. We're supposed to know the terms of that. Also, another update, or not even just an update, but they kind of gave us a hint into the what Diddy's defense is going to be. They are trying to say that Diddy didn't do anything wrong or didn't know he was doing anything wrong. They are saying that they're calling it he was just living a swinger lifestyle, and that was it. I don't think that's going to jive, but we'll see. So his defense looked like that's going to be kind of the basis of his defense, that he was living a swinger lifestyle. He was living a swinger lifestyle and didn't know what he was doing was wrong. And another thing, I've always been told ignorance of the law does not excuse you from the law. So we'll see how that pans out for Diddy. And another thing, y'all know that young lady, Christina Coram. They are really turning up the heat on her, and she's been Diddy's chief of staff for years, and she has shown up in multiple lawsuits as the main person who aided and abetted and helped Diddy carry out this alleged criminal empire. And so many believe she may be the star witness. And if she's not the star witness, she may be his co-defendant before it's all said and done. So Christina Coram, this article comes from NBC News, not my favorite news outlet. NBC News is not my favorite, but as I always tell you, we try to spread it around. Sean Combs, former chief of staff, is accused in 3 lawsuits of aiding his alleged sex abuse. A day after Sean Combs and his girlfriend, Cassie, settled, an explosive lawsuit was filed against Combs. Well, it was settled, and then here comes Combs was with Christina Coram at that time. Combs referred to Christina Coram publicly as his everything. She was among a handful of people accredited during his BET Awards acceptance speech as one of his main people to help him do whatever he was doing. Now we find out whatever he was doing was a little, So now her name is, as closer we get to trial, there's more and more people that are starting to really feel like Corm's role in this Diddy enterprise is about to be exposed. And she, amongst other people, is one of the people that knows a lot of the Diddy secrets. And Rodney Jones and others have pointed to Christina Corm as one of the main people who helped Diddy. In a statement last month to Rolling Stone, Corm said, "For months, horrific accusations have been made about me in various lawsuits regarding my former boss. These false allegations of my involvement are causing irreparable and incalculable damage to my reputation and the emotional well-being of myself and my family. I have never condoned or aided and abetted the sexual assault of anyone, nor have I ever drugged anyone. The idea that I could be accused of playing a role in or even being a bystander to the great of anyone is upsetting, disturbing, and unthinkable. This is not who I am, and my heart goes out to all the victims of SA. I am confident that the allegations against me will be proven to be untrue." Well, there's one problem that Christina Corm is going to have is they have voice messages of her telling people to go get different things that were inappropriate for Diddy. She is heard telling people to go get this and go get that. She also is chief of staff for years, and with the flagrant way Diddy went about his business, it's gonna be hard for people to believe she didn't know anything that was going on. So we'll see how it pans out comes trial time. But as of right now, she's looking like she's in hot water, y'all. And another development that could have something to do with Diddy, or it may not have anything to do with Diddy, but everybody is talking about TD Jakes, long time rumored to be a Diddy, that he was at Diddy parties, and a lot of rumors that him and Diddy were closer than they would like you to believe. A lot of speculation on why TD Jakes, who is a pastor, bishop, why he was even at a Diddy party. But with all that speculation, people are questioning and want to understand, or trying to understand, why it's ironic that he is stepping down when the timing of it is crazy, because the trial's about to start in 2 weeks, and he has already stepped down. So we definitely are going to be watching this closely. I can't say why he stepped down, if it has anything to do with Diddy. Is he going to be brought into trial or what? But what I can say is that people, including me, are watching closely to the development and to see if TD Jakes stepping down has anything to do with this upcoming trial. Other than that, we'll be paying close attention. Shout out to everybody who has supported the community. Matter of fact, at this time we have to shout out those who make this podcast a reality and allow us to come on here, talk the truth, have open dialogue and support for one another without worrying about what big corporations or this person or that person saying. This is the time where we thank the subscribers, the one who made this podcasts go and who keep truth alive. So today, subscribers, the recent subscribers are first, Brandy Massey. So everybody clap it up for Brandy Massey. Brandy Massey, I appreciate you. Brandy Massey did a $3, donated a $3, made a $3 donation. She is a member officially of the Flow family and the Flow movement. I appreciate you, Brandy. Your dollars are greatly appreciated. I know we're living in tough times right now, and money is not as easy to come by. Next, Billy Ring is actually the subscriber of the day. So shout out to Billy Ring. The minimum subscription is $3, but Billy chose to go above and beyond and donate $5, which greatly appreciated. Shout out to you, Billy, for helping to keep truth alive and preserve what we are doing here. And it makes me feel good and warms my heart that so many people are subscribing and supporting the movement, where we could come in here and have uncomfortable conversations with love and understanding, in the hopes that, you know, maybe some words I say, maybe some words my listeners say when I read their comments. You never know what words can help someone in their day, or just help them understand this world we live in, where we're all coming from different walks of life. We all have different experiences. We all come from different cultures. And so it is important that we, you know, take the time to not just dismiss each other's problems and plights. And I'm speaking about all people. We don't want to just dismiss it. We want to learn that you'd be surprised how valuable and how rewarding it is when you just take a moment. You may not understand what that particular community is outraged about, or that community, or women, or this or that. You'd be surprised the value in just taking an extra few minutes, or taking an extra time to do a little research, or to talk to somebody that comes from that community, and you get an understanding, and it actually feels good, because you're like, oh, I would have never known that. So happy Monday to everybody. We're going to get through this week like we get through every week. Nothing else to say. Bye. As always, I love y'all. And also, thanks for listening to a very important episode. But I'm out. Boom, boom, boom. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. Is it muted? No, it's not muted. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Y'all can hear me. Y'all can hear me. Yes, 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 yes. You know, this is the time of the show where we get Spotify and Apple loaded up. Y'all can ask any questions that you may have. Y'all know we gotta get this out to the rest of the world. If you haven't liked the live, make sure you like the live, share the live, all of the above. But some episodes are just about giving out information and critiquing it. But some episodes are bigger than that. Some episodes are an attempt to get more of an understanding for everybody involved. Because you'd be surprised what a little bit of understanding can do. Sometimes we may think someone is racist. Sometimes we may think someone is evil. But sometimes it's neither. Sometimes it's just they don't understand, and nobody's took the time to explain the situation to them. So, like I said, that is always my goal and my aim, is to give people a perspective that they may not have got anywhere else, because people are scared to touch certain topics. But I ain't never scared, because my whole purpose to do this is to give out information that may help people see and understand things that they may not otherwise do. I'm not mainstream media. I got a whole different I have a whole different objective when I do what I do. Peace to Bo. Hey, how you doing? Nice to see you, Bo. You know, I'm about to, after I get this in here, you know, I'm gonna shout out everybody who's been in here and supportive and all the above. So let me get, I just got the interface loaded. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna get Apple and Spotify together. Boom, boom, boom. Choose the file. Let's go. Where is the file? Boom. DFG. Bam. Come on. Don't be acting slow today on no Monday. I don't want my computer acting like it's a Monday too. Get you. Pick it up now. I don't want to take all year to load. Let's see what we got. Thanks, Bo. I appreciate it. I love you guys too. This is, I'm gonna say it again. This is just a beautiful community that we you know, where we could come and talk about this, and ain't no nastiness. Ain't nobody out to get nobody. We're just people who want information. And then we can do what we can do whatever we want with that information that we chose. But you can't say I didn't do my everything I could to try to explain things. Here we go with this computer giving me the blues right now, y'all. So let me try again. Let's go. Come on, computer. All right, cool. My computer is back working, and I love all y'all too. But let me shout out and let's see who been in here rocking with me. Bo, C Tuck, Kobe, Not Dreamer, Dad, hey, Melody, I can't read your name, but the one that said print called Kingdom, Rachel, Desiree, Libby Bear, Kingdom. Shout out to every last one of y'all for being in the building. Dreamer. Yeah, that prank call was crazy. That's what I'm saying. And you don't hear people like they just gloss over that. Like, that is terrible, man. Whoever that happened to, I would have been, that just drive me crazy. Like, why would you prank somebody in a time like that? But they don't want to talk about that. Even with that prank call, you still saw certain people ridiculing and bringing this man down, this kid, this 22, 23-year-old. It's sad. And I would speak up for any college kid being done like that. I don't give a damn what he looked like, because that's just foul. I would never do that. I'm not roasting no kid at all, let alone during the toughest moments of one of the toughest moments of their life. I couldn't believe it. But like I said, there was a lot of people speaking up for them. And I appreciate that, because there was a lot of people speaking up. Exactly. Everything. Yeah. What? Let's see. In your opinion, everything made sense until the prank calls. There are a lot of people that would disagree that everything didn't make sense. But like I said, we all are entitled to our opinion. But I know one thing: our opinions change when it's our child in that position. I guarantee it. It's easy for us to be hard and harsh on someone else's child. But when it's our child, all bets are off. But yeah, the prank call was flat out wrong. Like I said, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but you definitely have to understand that it is an opinion. That's the most important part. You have to understand that it is an opinion. And opinion on someone else's child weighs very little, because anybody out there, you're not gonna really give a fuck about too many people's opinion about your child. I guarantee you that. But when it's someone else's child, we are very comfortable with saying whatever, because we don't look at that person as a child or as someone's child. We just look at that person as a person on the football field. I don't look at it like that. I look at it for who they are. They're someone's child. And it's cool, and it's definitely okay to criticize play on the field. But you're criticizing stuff that has nothing to do with the play on the field, then to me, there's another issue going on. What that issue is, I don't know. I would have to ask a professional. But definitely, we are definitely going to hold everyone in this situation accountable for their own actions. And just remember, the same energy and karma that you put out about someone else's child will undoubtedly do a 360 and come around, and your child will experience that same vitriol, that same evilness, that same nastiness will come to your child. So I will definitely always make sure I put out the correct energy, because I want the correct energy to come back to my son. And so I believe that. So definitely, I want everybody to understand that how energy works in the universe. If you want to be super judgmental and go out and go toe the line and go out of bounds about another parent's child that they love more than life itself, just understand that same energy can come around and your child will be dealing with that same thing. And I guarantee it will hurt you to the core. To most people, that's just a football player. But to a lot of people, that's their pride and joy. So criticism is fine. But when it goes past that and it starts to become he's an arrogant douchebag and all of that, then imagine somebody calling your child an arrogant douchebag, and your child is never been in trouble, is an honor roll student, have achieving the goal that they've been working towards since they were 5 years old. And then you get there, and then somebody on the sideline on their couch wants to call them an arrogant douchebag. That ain't cool. And the prank call only exposed and showed what everybody was trying to say. The prank call only exposed and showed what everybody wanted to say, what's going on here. This is a little bit too much. And so those who didn't understand that it was a little bit too much going on, that prank call happened to show you, because you didn't understand it before the prank call. But before the prank call, the same venom was being spewed. But you just can't run from the prank call, so you have to acknowledge that. But the prank call was just a microcosm of what was actually going on. See, I didn't need the prank call to happen for me to know that there was some shit going on that wasn't quite right. The prank call is just for the people who maybe didn't understand what was going on. Oh, here's a prank call to show you what's going on. God don't make no mistakes. That was a reason why that prank call happened. The prank call was for those who think that people are just, the whole world is just outraged for no reason and don't understand that there's something else going on that doesn't have anything to do with football. Here's the prank call. Here's the prank call. This is the prank call is for those who are in doubt because they don't come from this plight, so they don't understand what's going on. But everybody can understand what was the undertone to that prank call, and everybody knows certain people, we've never seen this happen before. So, like I said, I was hurt that Shedeur had to experience the prank call, but since it happened, I was glad it happened for those that was trying to turn a blind eye to an obvious nasty situation. The prank call is something that nobody can dispute. But those of us that really paid attention and really know what was going on, we didn't need that prank call to know what was going on. We already knew. The whole world was not outraged for no reason. See, if you see the whole world outraged and the outrage is black and from black people, from white people, from brown people, from women, from men, from old, from young, if you see that type of outrage and still choose to act like nothing happened, that's a you problem. That's an entitlement problem. That's an arrogance. That person is the arrogant person because you are so arrogant and so thinking that what you say is the gospel and what you think is the gospel, you are dismissing an entire world who is outraged and not one particular community. The outrage came from everyone. The outrage came from Donald Trump. The outrage came from Stephen A. Smith. The outrage came from Mel Kiper. The outrage came from so many people, I don't have time to name them all. And so even if you don't understand it, you should be able to know, well, shit, if the whole fucking world is outraged, let me try to find out why. Instead of just saying, no, it's nothing's being done wrong. That's lazy, that's careless, and that's dangerous. That's lazy, careless, and dangerous to dismiss something as being nothing when you see the whole freaking world outraged. And so I was glad it played out the way it played out. It was an unfortunate situation, but it was a learning. It was a time to learn, and it was a time for us to learn and understand. Sometimes we need to ask each other questions. I'm not a woman, but you know why I understand what women go through? Because I talk to them. They DM me. They share their stories. I inquire more to learn more. When they share their stories, I ask questions so I can get more clarity. Because I don't know what it's like to be a black woman or a white woman or a Latino in this world. I've only been a black man, but I can ask women what is going on. I can try to understand instead of just dismissing. And we have too much dismissing going on and not enough inquiring and asking. And you know why? It takes no energy to dismiss someone's outrage or someone's issue. It takes no energy. It takes no effort. But to understand, it takes effort. It takes energy. It takes getting outside of yourself and opening up yourself to something somebody else may believe that may be hard for you to believe. A lot of people don't want to do all that. So they just take the easy route. Dismiss it. Oh, You being abused by your husband, or you're being abused by a man and you didn't leave, I don't think it really happened then. Or I don't think he really abused you. Or I think it's your fault for staying because I would have left. That's what people say when they just want to be dismissive. And I don't care. I will always speak up on that because it is a serious issue in this society. Karma does have a boomerang effect. Thank you, Heather. By the way, I forgot to thank you, Heather, for the super chat. I really appreciate it, Heather. Well said. When it comes to our children, we go all out. Exactly. We all go all out for our children. Let's not be hypocritical and act like we all don't go all out for our children and we watch somebody else go all out for them, and then all of a sudden we forgot what we do for ours, and now we want to criticize and critique somebody else who's been training and coaching their son for basically 20 years. And then now all of a sudden we act like we have an issue because they want to speak or they have a preference of what they want for their child. It ain't right. Let's keep it on the football field. If he has a bad game, if he throws interceptions, critique him all you want. If he fumbles the ball, if he's not prepared, critique him all you want. But to be trying to talk about because he raps or because he shows his watch, you out of bounds. Because I can name many players that have done far worse, and I'm not judging them because I'm not here to tear down other players. I just want to let it be known there are players that have done far worse than showing their watch and making a rap song. And I don't need to go into who they are and what they've done. We all know. So just like we give those other players grace, we're going to give my quarterback of my Cleveland Browns, Shedeur Sanders, the same grace. I'm so happy to have him. It's no secret that I wanted the Browns to pick him, and it was great to see. Definitely great to see that we got our guy, and I look forward to going to the game and celebrating and watching him play and all the rest of my players, and for us to compete against everybody in the football players. Shout out to your team. Shout out to everybody whose team drafted players that they wanted. Yeah, hey, C-Tuck said, I watched the whole draft. C-Tuck says, you and me both, Flo. I ain't never watched the entire draft. Yeah, me neither. There's the first time. But as always, y'all, I want to thank everybody for keeping me company on this show, for having real talk, real conversation. Is amazing. And I look forward to doing it again tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. The Flow Show No Filter is hot as fish grease. And the movement is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I appreciate it, y'all. So make sure y'all like the live. Let's get those I'm outs in the comments. Let's get those I'm outs in the comments, please. Y'all know our routine. I can't leave without the I'm out. Let's see what we got here. Man, I tell you, it don't matter how many times I type out Shedeur Sanders, I always have to make sure I'm spelling it right. That is not an easy name to spell. I swear that EUR throws me off every time. So let's get the I'm outs in the comments, y'all. Much love to the whole army. One thing about it, we all got each other's back. And when you know you got a group of people that we all got each other's back, I don't care what you look like, where you come from. But one thing about it, you got a community right here that we got all each other's back. Go Jags, I'm out. I'm gonna go ahead and put it up there. She said, "Go Jags, I'm out." Shout out to Melody, Bo, Heather, C Tuck, Monique. Shout out to Monique. I think she got her merchandise. Heather, thanks again for the super chat. Everybody else in the building, I see y'all tomorrow, same time, so same place. I love y'all, but I'm out.